So if you're not a fan of the words peak fiction, click off of the video.
Boy, was this a great chapter. This was something really cool that we got for chapter 194. Noritoshi, he pretty much is the equivalent of dropping 40 in a game. He dropped 40 this chapter, because after this, he might be in my top 15, 20 faves by the time this colony is officially over. But let's not waste any more time and get right into it. So first things first, Naoya's adult dialogue. Him saying basically that when you're a kid, there are things that you are unable to do, but when you become an adult, you're then able to do said things and forget how nearly impossible it was as a kid. I feel like this might be referencing the power that he has right now and how it was difficult to beat Maki back then, but now it seems relatively easy for him. That might be what he's referencing right there. But the disrespect, it came real early, because as Maki's laughing and she says, "When were you ever an adult?" Naoya responds by saying, "Who knows? Why don't we ask Machan?" Disrespecting her dead sister right in front of her. Man, that's menace activity right there. And of course, Maki, she's pissed off because you don't disrespect Machan like that. And she kicks him as Noritoshi hits Naoya with his arrows. Noritoshi easily had his best character moments in this chapter, and I'm glad to see it, because boy was it good. Naoya's pissed at this point because he thought he got rid of Noritoshi. He's wondering, why are you still around? And we got some cool usage of blood manipulation right here as Noritoshi, he attacks Naoya and you see blood around his back, kind of like a veil of some sort. It kind of reminded me of when Doppio would like occasionally have King Crimson's arms behind him. This is the first thing I thought of. He's throwing blood at Naoya and punching him at the same time, I believe. And what Noritoshi's doing is he's taking the blood he's already used, and to keep from running out of blood and passing out, he's circulating the blood from the outside and putting it back in himself, which takes a toll on his body, as it's a pretty tiring process. Noritoshi goes back to where Maki's at, and she's got a game plan. She needs to heal herself for about 5 minutes, and then she'll get back into the fight. Noritoshi, he's obviously worried about her because she has internal organ damage and she's in rough condition. But she tells him not to worry and asks what are the odds that this works. Noritoshi says 8-2, the 2 is me. He's gonna try to hold out on Naoya for 5. And when Maki tells him don't die, he says I'll try, or rather whether I live or die no longer matters. Which was pretty sad thinking about it, because Kenjaku did tell him that no matter whether you live or die, it doesn't really matter. You can't do or change anything. That sucks, especially later on in the chapter when you really see that he has nothing left. Ah man, it sucks for a boy. So Naoya comes in to attack, and Noritoshi puts up his blood fence type move and moves out, and Naoya runs into the fence. We get confirmation from Noritoshi that to him, Naoya's durability is above Hanami when Naoya uses his shell form. Naoya is literally like a turtle. When he uses his tendrils and breaks away from the shell, he's more vulnerable to attacks. But when he's in his shell, he's very defensive, and in the shell, he can protect himself from his own dangerously high level speed. Naoya punches him, but Noritoshi grabs onto him and spits up his blood in Naoya's intake valve, which will most likely come in later in this colony or fight. He gets some distance and he knows Naoya is thinking he's being cautious because of blood loss, but Noritoshi just beams him with the piercing blood. Piercing blood is becoming one of my favorite signature techniques in JujutsuKaisen. But now we get this kind of like internal dialogue or thoughts in a flashback sort of way with Noritoshi. He's thinking about his mother and whether she'll be upset with him for not being the head of the clan anymore, or not being able to make a place for her in the clan house. But then he says this: "But mother, even so I don't belong anywhere, because if I am no longer needed, then let me set my life ablaze, so at the very least my companions will burn brightly on my ashes." That's fire dialogue. That right there, that quote, I'm telling you, that's gonna hit with the right OST whenever this gets animated in the anime. Oh man, that definitely hit. And while that was happening, Naoya is beating down Noritoshi, but he's not staying down. He's getting back up. Then out of nowhere, you see a foot about to, I guess, stomp on Naoya's tendril, or maybe that's just him coming into like the picture. But it's these two random dudes. One screaming sumo and the other screaming katana. And that's literally how the chapter ended. Very like uncanny way to like end the chapter right there with two characters we have no idea about. Now these two dudes they're more than likely fodder, but they're invading this battle, and I have this feeling the reason for their crying and beefing with each other is because they're arguing what's better, samurais or sumo wrestlers or something of that nature. Now, I could be wrong and they actually end up helping Noritoshi or something, but I think Naoya will probably kill them and get back to Noritoshi. But if they somehow turn out to be like pretty decent fighters, I'm fine with that, but I'm not expecting much. Now, as for Maki, during this 5 minutes, she's trying to completely heal from her wound, the internal organs. You know, I guess she's able to do it through complete heavenly restriction now. That's like the only way I could think of her being able to do it, because she's leaving the barrier, obviously, so Naoya can't reach her. But I'm just wondering, like, how is she able to do that? Like, hopefully there's like some sort of like little quote or, you know, some little bubble or something that'll tell us what's exactly going on, because I don't remember Toji ever having like a healing or like a regenerating kind of like body to him or when he's injured. So, or maybe this is maybe she has Shoko on the outside of the barrier waiting. I don't know, but hopefully that's kind of explained a little bit as to how she's able to just heal herself. She also like healed her eye when she came back in 192. She had both her eyes open, so there's got to be something. Maybe she's got like a new regenerating or healing ability. I don't know, but I just wanted to be explained a little bit. But Noritoshi, this chapter was fire. Peak stuff for him and his character. A lot of death flags though, but hey, I have to talk about the flashback for a second. And it's just kind of sad thinking about how Noritoshi was really trying to make his mother happy and take care of her within the Kamo clan, but it's like everything was just going against him. Everything went the opposite of how he thought it was gonna go. And you see the man and the baby with her, and that's her new family, and he's smiling from a distance because she's gonna be able to live a happier life now, even if it means him not being there for her. Now, he doesn't even have a family or anything at this point. The closest thing he has to a family is his fellow sorcerers, basically the people that we have on the field in the Cunning Games right now. That's probably the closest thing he has to a family, but you really can't replace your own mother now. Come on. This story arc really became very sad than I thought it was going to be, but it honestly makes moments of him willing to sacrifice himself and not falling against Naoya hit much more, because it really felt like to him he has nothing to lose. Overall though, great chapter as usual, 9 out of 10. Let me know how you feel about this chapter down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and subscribe. Also, in the next review, might do something a little bit different. I'll let you on the next one.